Welcome to the Good Life in Health and Wellness, the podcast where we empower you to take control of your health and live your best life. Hosted by Dr. Kate Duncan, who's here to guide you through this journey. Let's face it, most conventional approaches to health are reactive, not proactive. We're often left frustrated, chasing symptoms instead of addressing the root causes. Whether it's dealing with chronic pain, hormonal imbalances, or the stress that keeps us up at night, too many of us feel stuck in a cycle that just isn't working. But what if there was a better way? That's exactly what Dr. Duncan has discovered after years of helping patients like you transform their health. Through a combination of chiropractic care, functional medicine, and personalized wellness strategies, she has seen incredible results that go beyond just masking symptoms. Dr. Duncan has uncovered the secrets to living a truly balanced and vibrant life. And now she's bringing those solutions straight to you. In each episode, Dr. Duncan will dive deep into practical tips, expert advice, and actionable steps you can take to regain control over your health. Whether you're struggling with weight loss resistance, fatigue, or just want to feel your best, this show is here to guide you. So, are you ready to break free from the old ways of thinking and embrace a new path to wellness? Join us every week on the Good Life in Health and Wellness, and let's start your journey to better health together.
Welcome back to the Good Life in Health and Wellness. I'm Dr. Kate Duncan, and all month long, we are focusing on sleep and fatigue solutions, including chronic fatigue, sleep optimization, and what your body may be trying to tell you when you feel tired all the time. Today's episode is called Why Am I Always Tired? A functional look at fatigue. Fatigue can seem simple on the surface, but underneath it can be very complex. When someone says, I'm tired, that may mean they are sleepy, burned out, undernourished, hormonally imbalanced, inflamed, overwhelmed, metabolically stressed, or not recovering well overnight. Temporary tiredness usually makes sense. Maybe you stayed up too late, had a stressful week, traveled, or got sick. But chronic fatigue feels different. It's waking up tired even after enough hours in bed. It is relying on coffee to get through the morning, crashing in the afternoon, feeling foggy, heavy, unmotivated, and finding that normal responsibilities feel harder than they should. Today, we're going to look at fatigue through a functional lens. Instead of only asking, how do we cover this up? We are going to ask, why is this happening? What systems are involved? What could be draining energy faster than the body can rebuild it? Functional health looks at the body as an interconnected system. Sleep affects blood sugar affects hormones, stress affects digestion, inflammation affects the brain, nutrient status affects mitochondria, pain affects sleep. When several of these systems are under pressure, fatigue can become the result. This episode is not meant to diagnose anyone. If you are dealing with stress fatigue, sudden fatigue, shortness of breath, chest pain, fainting, unexplained weight loss, major mood changes, or fatigue that interferes with daily life, please talk with a qualified healthcare provider. But today, I want to give you a better map because fatigue is not laziness. Fatigue is physiology. It may be connected to sleep quality, stress, blood sugar instability, nutrient insufficiency, inflammation, hormones, pain, immune load, medication side effects, or lifestyle patterns that are pushing the body beyond its ability to recover. And the earlier you pay attention, the more options you usually have. Let's start by defining fatigue a little more clearly. Fatigue is not the same thing as sleepiness. Sleepiness is the tendency to doze off, while fatigue is more of a low energy state. Someone may not feel like they could fall asleep, but they may feel physically drained, mentally foggy, emotionally flat, or unable to sustain normal effort. Some people describe fatigue as a heavy body. Others say they feel wired but tired, like their battery never charges past 40%. Or like they can function for a little while and then suddenly hit a wall. This distinction matters because the solution depends on the pattern. If someone is sleepy during the day, we may need to look at sleep duration, sleep apnea, poor sleep quality, circadian rhythm disruption, medications, alcohol, or irregular sleep timing. But if someone feels physically depleted, we may need to look at blood sugar, thyroid function, iron status, B vitamins, magnesium, protein intake, inflammation, pain, infection recovery, or stress physiology. Mental fatigue can point us in another direction. Emotional stress, overcommitment, screen overload, anxiety, depression, decision fatigue, and poor restorative sleep can all leave the brain feeling exhausted, even when the body has technically been in bed long enough. Adults are generally encouraged to get 7 or more hours of sleep per night, but time in bed is not the whole story. Many people are sleeping 7 or 8 hours and still asking, why am I exhausted? That is where sleep quality matters. Sleep is not just time unconscious. It is an active repair process. Your brain cycles through stages, your body regulates hormones, your immune system communicates, your nervous system shifts, your tissues repair, and your brain consolidates memory. If sleep is fragmented, shallow, poorly timed, or disrupted by breathing issues, pain, stress, blood sugar drops, alcohol or cortisol rhythm problems, you may spend enough time in bed and still not feel restored. So instead of only asking, how many hours did I sleep? We also need to ask, was my sleep restorative? Did I wake up during the night? Do I snore? Do I wake with headaches? Do I crash after meals? Do I need caffeine to function? Those clues help us understand the deeper fatigue problem. One of the first places to investigate chronic tiredness is sleep quality. Many people underestimate how much their nighttime patterns affect their daytime energy. Poor sleep does not just make you tired, it can affect mood, cravings, pain sensitivity, immune resilience, blood sugar regulation, hormone signaling, focus, reaction time, and appetite. One common hidden disruptor is sleep apnea. Sleep apnea happens when breathing repeatedly becomes restricted or pauses during sleep. A person may snore, gasp, choke, wake with a dry mouth, wake with headaches, or feel exhausted even after spending enough time in bed. Sometimes the person has no idea it is happening, and a spouse or partner notices it first. Sleep apnea is not just about snoring. It can fragment sleep, lower oxygen, activate stress responses, and prevent the body from getting into deeper restorative stages. Pain is another common disruptor. If your back, neck, shoulders, hips, jaw, or headaches are waking you up and keeping your nervous system on alert, your body may not fully downshift at night. Even if you do not remember waking frequently, pain can cause small interruptions that keep you from getting enough deep sleep or REM sleep. Stress can also interfere with sleep. Many people say, I am exhausted all day, but when I lie down at night, my brain turns on. That wired but tired pattern can happen when the nervous system has been running on high alert for too long. Cortisol is supposed to follow a rhythm. It generally rises in the morning to help you wake up and gradually lowers toward night so melatonin can support sleep. But chronic stress, inconsistent sleep timing, late night stimulation, blood sugar swings, and emotional overload can interfere with that rhythm. Environmental factors matter too. Bright light at night, screens, noise, pets in bed, room temperature, alcohol, late night caffeine, heavy meals, and inconsistent bedtimes can all affect sleep quality. Sometimes the issue is not just insomnia. Sometimes the body is receiving mixed signals. The brain likes rhythm. The body likes consistency. Sleep is easier when the nervous system knows what to expect. So if you're always tired, the better question is not just, did I get enough sleep? It is, what is the quality of my sleep and what might be interrupting it? Because fatigue often begins overnight. Now, let's talk about one of the most common fatigue patterns, the afternoon crash. This is the person who wakes up tired, drinks coffee, pushes through the morning, maybe skips breakfast or grabs something quick, and then around 2 or 3 p.m., feels like they could crawl under the desk and take a nap. Often, that crash leads to more caffeine, sugar, chips, or something salty because the body is asking for quick energy. From a functional perspective, this pattern often points us towards blood sugar regulation. Blood sugar is not only important for diabetes, it is important for daily energy, mood, cravings, focus, headaches, sleep, and hormones. When meals are high in refined carbohydrates and low in protein, fiber, and healthy fat, glucose may rise quickly and then drop. When blood sugar drops, the body may respond with stress hormones to bring it back up. And that can feel like shakiness, irritability, anxiety, hunger, fatigue, brain fog, or cravings. Sleep loss can make this worse. When we do not sleep well, the body may have a harder time managing insulin and glucose. Poor sleep can make daytime energy less stable, and unstable blood sugar can make sleep worse. It becomes a loop. Caffeine is not evil, and for many people, coffee can be enjoyable in moderation. But caffeine can become a crutch when it replaces sleep, food, hydration, and recovery. If you need caffeine first thing in the morning, again mid-morning, and again in the afternoon just to function, that is information. If caffeine makes you anxious, wired, shaky, or worse in sleep, that is also information. A simple starting point is to build the first meal of the day around protein. Protein helps support neurotransmitters, muscle repair, immune function, and blood sugar stability. Add fiber from vegetables, berries, beans, oats, chia, flax, or other whole foods. Add healthy fat if it works for your body. Drink water, and then notice what happens to your energy 1, 2, and 3 hours later. Many tired people are underfueled early in the day and over-relying on quick energy later. A functional question is, am I giving my body steady fuel? Or am I asking it to run on stress hormones and caffeine? When the body does not receive consistent nourishment, fatigue is often the message. Another major piece of fatigue is nutrient status. Your body does not create energy out of thin air. Energy production requires oxygen, nutrients, enzymes, hormones, and healthy mitochondria. Mitochondria are often called the powerhouses of the cell because they help convert food into usable cellular energy. But mitochondria are not just important for athletes, they matter for everyday life: walking, thinking, healing, digesting, focusing, regulating temperature, and recovering from stress. Nutrients such as B vitamins, vitamin C, iron, magnesium, and zinc all play important roles in energy metabolism, cognition, and fatigue. This does not mean everyone needs to run out and take random supplements. It means nutrient insufficiency is worth considering, especially when fatigue is persistent. Iron is a good example. Low iron can contribute to fatigue, weakness, shortness of breath with exertion, dizziness, headaches, restless legs, and poor exercise tolerance. But iron should be evaluated appropriately because too much can be harmful. Markers like ferritin, iron saturation, hemoglobin, and other labs can help a provider understand the pattern. B12 and folate are also important for red blood cell production and nervous system health. Low B12 can affect energy, mood, memory, balance, numbness, and tingling. Magnesium also matters because it is involved in hundreds of processes connected to energy production, muscle function, nervous system regulation, and sleep support. From a functional perspective, we also look at what may be draining the mitochondria: chronic inflammation, poor sleep, high stress, toxin exposure, ultra-processed foods, blood sugar swings, alcohol overuse, a sedentary lifestyle, and overtraining can all increase the load on the body. Sometimes people think they need one magic supplement for energy, but their mitochondria may be asking for the basics: sleep, nutrients, oxygen, movement, hydration, and reduced stress load. One helpful mindset shift is this: energy is not just something you consume, energy is something your body has to produce. So when fatigue is chronic, we want to ask, what raw materials are missing? and what burdens are using up more energy than my body can comfortably create. Now, let's talk about stress fatigue, because this is one of the most common patterns I see in real life. This is the person who has been holding everything together for years: work stress, family stress, caregiving, pain, financial pressure, poor sleep, constant notifications, too many commitments, and not enough recovery. They may not even feel stressed anymore because stress has become normal, but their body is still carrying the load. The HPA axis stands for hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. It is one of the body's central stress response systems. It helps regulate cortisol and other stress-related signaling. Cortisol is not bad. You need cortisol to wake up, respond to stress, regulate inflammation, support blood pressure, and help maintain blood sugar. The issue is when the stress response is activated too often, too long, or at the wrong time of day. Burnout fatigue often has a distinct feeling. It is not just, I need a nap. It is, I feel emotionally empty. It is, everything feels harder than it should. It is, I used to handle this, but now I cannot. It may come with irritability, low motivation, brain fog, poor sleep, sugar cravings, headaches, muscle tension, and feeling overwhelmed by normal tasks. And because many high-achieving people are used to pushing through, they often ignore early warning signs until the body gets louder. One practical way to think about this is the energy bank account. Every stressor is a withdrawal. Poor sleep is a withdrawal. Skipping meals is a withdrawal. Pain is a withdrawal. Overcommitting is a withdrawal. Emotional stress is a withdrawal. Caffeine can feel like a deposit, but it is often more like borrowing against tomorrow. Real deposits are things like sleep, protein, hydration, sunlight, walking, nervous system regulation, connection, boundaries, and recovery. Fatigue often shows up when withdrawals have exceeded deposits for too long. This is where small recovery practices matter. 10 minutes of morning light, a short walk after meals, slow breathing, a regular bedtime, a protein-rich breakfast, a screen boundary at night, saying no to one unnecessary commitment. These may sound small, but the nervous system does not always heal through dramatic overhauls. Sometimes it heals through repeated signals of safety and rhythm. Another root of fatigue is inflammation and immune activation. When your immune system is working hard, energy gets redirected. Think about how you feel when you are fighting a virus. You feel tired, achy, foggy, and less motivated. That is not weakness. That is the immune system shifting the body's priorities so energy can be used for defense and repair. The challenge is that some people live with a low-grade version of immune activation for a long time. This can happen with chronic infections, poor gut health, autoimmune conditions, unresolved inflammation, chronic stress, poor sleep, high sugar intake, excess alcohol, environmental exposures, or ongoing pain. Inflammation can also affect the brain. Many people with inflammatory fatigue describe brain fog, low motivation, mood changes, and feeling like they are moving through mud. This is not just psychological. Immune signaling can influence neurotransmitters, brain energy metabolism, and nervous system function. Gut health plays a role as well. The gut is deeply connected to immune function, nutrient absorption, blood sugar regulation, and inflammation. If someone has chronic bloating, diarrhea, constipation, reflux, food reactions, or poor appetite, those symptoms may be relevant to fatigue. Pain and inflammation can also create a loop. Pain disrupts sleep. Poor sleep increases pain sensitivity. Increased pain increases stress. Stress can worsen inflammation. Inflammation can worsen fatigue. Then fatigue makes movement harder, which can reduce circulation, strength, and resilience. This is why fatigue often needs a systems approach rather than one isolated solution. A practical starting point is to lower the inflammation load while adding supportive basics. Focus on whole foods, protein, colorful plants, fiber, hydration, omega-3 rich foods, gentle movement, sleep consistency, and stress reduction. This is not about an extreme diet. It is about giving the body better recovery conditions. Hormones are another important part of the fatigue conversation. Thyroid hormones influence metabolism, temperature regulation, bowel function, hair and skin health, mood, heart rate, and energy production. When thyroid function is low or poorly regulated, people may feel tired, cold, constipated, foggy, depressed, puffy, achy, or unable to lose weight. TSH can be helpful, but depending on the person, a provider may also look at free T4, free T3, thyroid antibodies, iron status, stress physiology, and nutrient status. For women, fatigue can also shift during perimenopause and menopause. Hormonal changes can affect sleep, temperature regulation, mood, muscle mass, insulin sensitivity, and stress tolerance. Night sweats and hot flashes can fragment sleep, and changes in progesterone and estrogen may affect sleep quality, body composition, joint comfort, and mood. Many women say, I used to do the same things and feel okay, but now I'm exhausted. That does not mean they are failing. It means the body's operating system is changing. And the support strategy may need to change too. Men can also experience hormone related fatigue, low testosterone, poor sleep, insulin resistance, excess alcohol, chronic stress, inflammation, medications, and sleep apnea can all contribute to low energy, reduced drive, poor recovery, and changes in body composition. It is important not to reduce fatigue to one hormone, but hormones can be part of the bigger picture. You may have heard the phrase adrenal fatigue, but a more accurate way to discuss this is stress response dysregulation or HPA axis imbalance. The adrenal glands are not simply tired. The body's communication system may be adapting to long-term stress, which can influence cortisol rhythm, sleep, blood sugar, inflammation, and energy. Medication side effects also need to be considered. Certain medications for allergies, blood pressure, pain, anxiety, depression, sleep, and other conditions may contribute to tiredness in some people. This does not mean stopping medication on your own. It means fatigue is worth discussing with your prescribing provider, especially if it started or worsened after a medication change. Fatigue can also be related to anemia, vitamin deficiencies, chronic kidney or liver issues, autoimmune disease, depression, anxiety, post-viral syndromes, and many other conditions. This is why persistent fatigue deserves evaluation. Functional thinking does not replace medical evaluation. It helps organize the questions so that the root causes are not missed. Now, let's make this practical. If you are listening and thinking, this sounds like me, start with a fatigue inventory, not a judgment, not a shame spiral, just data. For 1 week, notice your energy patterns. What time do you wake up? Do you feel rested? Do you need caffeine right away? Do you crash after meals? Do you feel better or worse with movement? Do you wake up during the night? Do you snore? Does your partner say you snore? Do you wake up with headaches? Do you crave sugar or salt? Do you feel wired at bedtime? Do you feel worse after stressful days? These clues matter because they help reveal patterns. The first foundational habit is sleep rhythm. Choose a consistent wake time most days, get morning light as early as possible, dim the lights at night, create a wind down routine, and keep the bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Give your nervous system a runway into sleep instead of making bedtime the first quiet moment of your day. The second habit is protein at breakfast. Many tired people are unintentionally under-eating protein early in the day. A breakfast built around protein can support blood sugar, cravings, muscle, and neurotransmitter production. Add fiber and hydration whenever possible. The third habit is a short walk after meals. Even 10 minutes can support circulation, glucose regulation, digestion, and nervous system reset. It does not have to be intense. Movement should support the body, not punish it. The fourth habit is nervous system recovery. Try slow breathing, prayer, meditation, heart math, stretching, legs up the wall, journaling, or quiet time outside. The method matters less than the message. I am safe enough to recover. A body stuck in high alert will struggle to repair. The fifth habit is reducing obvious energy drains. Too much alcohol, late night caffeine, doom scrolling, skipping meals, ultra-processed foods, dehydration, overcommitting, and ignoring pain all pull from the energy bank account. You do not have to fix everything all at once. In fact, that can be overwhelming. Pick one drain to reduce and one deposit to repeat. And finally, know when to get help. If fatigue is persistent, worsening, severe, or affecting your daily life, it is time to look deeper. Helpful conversations with a provider may include sleep apnea screening, thyroid markers, iron and ferritin, B12, vitamin D, metabolic markers, blood sugar and insulin patterns, inflammatory markers, medication review, hormone patterns, and a careful health history. You deserve more than just drink more coffee or you're just getting older. As we wrap up today, I want to bring this back to one central message. Fatigue is information. It is not a character flaw. It is not a lack of willpower, and it is not something you should automatically ignore, push through, or cover up with caffeine forever. Fatigue is your body's way of communicating that energy production, recovery, sleep, stress, fuel, hormones, immune function, or inflammation may need attention. If you are always tired, start by looking at the basics without minimizing them. Are you sleeping enough? Is your sleep restorative? Are you breathing well at night? Are you fueling your body with protein, fiber, minerals, and hydration? Are you riding the blood sugar roller coaster? Are pain, inflammation, hormones, or digestion pulling more energy than you realize? The goal is not perfection. The goal is pattern recognition. When you understand the pattern, you can make better choices, ask better questions, seek the right support, and begin rebuilding energy from the inside out. Here is your simple challenge for this week. Choose one energy deposit every day. That might be morning sunlight or a protein-rich breakfast, a 10-minute walk after lunch, turning screens off earlier, drinking more water, doing 5 minutes of slow breathing, or going to bed at a consistent time. Do not underestimate simple habits done consistently. The body listens to repeated signals. I want to thank you for joining me today on the Good Life in Health and Wellness. I hope this episode has given you practical tools to better understand why fatigue happens, how sleep, stress, blood sugar, nutrients, hormones, and inflammation can all play a role, and what small steps you can begin taking to support better energy and recovery. Next week, I'll be discussing Sleep Architecture 101, how your brain repairs overnight. That's super interesting. Until then, take care and keep living the good life.
Thank you for tuning in to the Good Life in Health and Wellness podcast. We hope you found today's episode insightful and empowering. If you know someone who could benefit from the information, please share it with them. It could make a big difference in their health journey. Your reviews mean the world to us. They help us reach more people and make a greater impact. So if you enjoyed the episode, please take a moment to leave a review. Curious about how Dr. Duncan is transforming healthcare? Visit www.duncanchiro.com to discover the unique and innovative approaches that set her apart. Thank you again for listening. We can't wait to connect with you in our next episode.